Thank you. You may all be seated. Welcome, everyone, friends and family, to this joyous occasion as we share in the wedding of Joni and Scott. And how wonderful that you've all been able to join them here to celebrate the beginning of this marriage. May this happy celebration of life and love comfort us with optimism during the difficult period that we've recently endured. In fact, it is because of the events in New Orleans that Joni's dear friend Samantha is unable to be with us today. So we wish her and everyone affected our sincere thoughts and well wishes. Before we continue, I just want to take a moment to appreciate this lovely and stunning location that they have selected to exchange vows. This environment does evoke feelings which certainly suit this pair. So may the beauty of the surrounding nature reflect, remind, and speak to the beauty and the nature of this relationship. And a little shout out to the Pacific Northwest weather, who in all of its glory decided to shine like it does. The service itself will also reflect Joni and Scott both as individuals and as a united couple, because together they have conceived and created most of what you'll hear today. Now, I'm sure you all know this love story, and really I couldn't even begin to do it justice, but there are some elements to it that I think illustrate the sort of synchronicity, timeliness, and devotion that makes it such a moving and caring partnership. That Providence played a role here in bringing them together in front of you now cannot be denied. It was a simple and early friendship formed years ago in South Carolina that would prove to be an auspicious beginning. An inspired and adventurous U-Haul trip through the Badlands, Mount Rushmore, and the Corn Palace to Seattle led them ultimately to a comfortable courtship. A one-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill and later a house in Lake City helped the transition to a more significant relationship. This recognition of their feelings was also assisted by having to sleep in the car one night at Golden Gardens and camping at the hot springs while one of them was wearing the not very camping gear of funky leather pants. Ultimately, it was clear a lifetime commitment was imminent. Asking permission from Father Jerry was appreciated and heartfelt. Indeed, an engagement ring was procured, and without fanfare, the proposal agreed upon. So now, joined by their treasured Aiden, they will continue to appreciate the qualities each possess and discover new ones as they follow their hearts by giving another word to this relationship that they have nurtured, and that is marriage. Joni and Scott are embracing this next phase with purpose, and with it emerges a deeper involvement and promise. So as husband and wife, may they enjoy life's rich adventures with more of the same tireless energy and love that is so clearly evident between them. And how fortunate for all of us to watch them embark on this journey. I'd like to take the liberty of just briefly paraphrasing something that Robert Fulton wrote because I think it's appropriate. The real wedding and the real vows don't happen on the day of the formal occasion. There comes a time when there's a conversation between two people in love about what they have agreed to do by getting married, having a wedding. This conversation happens over several days, weeks, maybe even months. Partly in a car driving somewhere, perhaps on the phone, on the way to school or back, sometimes in the kitchen or the living room, or maybe outside after playing a little kickball. It's a conversation about promises and homes, family, possessions, jobs, dreams, rights, goals, concessions, money, personal space, kids, and all of the issues that might arise from these things. And what is promised at that time in a casual, disorganized kind of way is the making of an invisible bond of commitment. Just two people working out what they want, what they think and believe, and what they hope for each other. Then, after these conversations, be they long or short, there's hugging and kissing. And that's it. The wedding is done. All that's left to do is the public declaration and celebration. And that is why we are all out here today. So, I ask you, Joni, intend to nourish yourselves and each other in living by the following 5 precepts throughout your marriage. In every way you can, you allow your deepest selves to appear. You take full responsibility for your own lives in all their infinite dimensions. You affirm your trust in honesty and wisdom of your own bodies, with which your love and reverence always shows you the true way. You are committed to embrace all parts of yourselves, including your deepest fears and shadows, so that they can be transformed into light. And you affirm your willingness to keep your hearts open, even in the midst of great pain. Friends and family that are now gathered around us to witness this wedding between Joni and Scott have been invited here today because you are each so important in the lives of this couple. Your presence and inclusion represent a meaningful bond of mutual respect, support, and love. So I ask of this group, will all of you sharing in this union assist and encourage the marriage between Joni and Scott that begins from this point forward? If so, answer, we will.
We will.
In the future, happy occasions will come as sure as the morning. Difficult times will come as sure as the night. To say the words love and compassion is easy, but to accept that love and compassion are built upon patience and perseverance is not easy.
You come here today, minds free and souls euphoric, to join your lives as one. You each marry knowing that true love does not avoid the winds of change, but navigates them with patience and grace. You each pledge your living and dying equally in the other's name. You each promise to be faithful and to walk beside each other. You will always look to the other who you need and strive. Together, we are stronger than when we were. This is a marriage of individuals united in sin.
Today I take my place beside you as your mother.
Today I take my place beside you as your wife.
From the earliest of times, the circle has been a symbol of completeness, a symbol of love. An unbroken and never-ending circle symbolizes a commitment of love that is also never-ending. As often as either of you look at these symbols, I hope that you will be reminded of the commitment to love each other which you have made here today. Apache wedding. Now you will feel no rain, for each of you will be sheltered to the other. Now you will feel no cold, for each of you will be warm to the other. Now there is no more loneliness, for each of you will be companion to the other. Now you are two bodies, but there is only one life before you. So go now to your dwelling place, to enter into the days of your togetherness, and may those days be good and long upon this earth. Joni and Scott, before these beloved guests, you have pledged your love and life to each other. You have symbolized this with the exchange of vows and the giving and the receiving of rings. So I ask that everyone repeat after me. We now pronounce you married.
We now pronounce you married.
Before we serenade the couple with the wedding march on our kazoos, it is my distinct honor and absolute pleasure to introduce to you for the very first time as husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Scott and Joni Humphreys.
First, from the wedding march. I knew that.
That was our problem too.